So, hey man, I heard that the property taxes might be going up 30% in Philadelphia. Is that right?
So no, that's a catchy headline that everybody likes to say because it catches your attention. Probably the reason you came to this video. Um, but no, some people may see dramatic increases in taxes here coming up. You kind of have to understand how your tax bill is generated in order to understand whether or not you're going to actually have an increase or not. So some of us may actually have decreases, surprisingly enough, depending on how your property appraised, or I'm sorry, was assessed versus your neighbors.
So,
So go ahead.
so are they just reassessing everybody up about 30% in general?
Yeah, so that's the clickbaity part of it, right? So that is
Yeah,
true. The assessments on average are going up by roughly 30%.
got it.
Because the real estate market in general has gone up roughly that amount since the last time they did a reassessment.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
now that's changing one number in the equation to figure out your tax bill. The other one is the millage rate. And in order for us to come up with the millage rate, the taxing body, so in this case, the city of Philadelphia, needs to come up with a budget, and how much of that budget is going to come from real estate taxes. They take the entire assessed value of the entire taxing body, so in this case, the city, and divide it by the amount that needs to come out of the budget for from property taxes. So that is how they come up with the millage rate, and the millage rate is then applied to your property's value, and that's how you get your tax bill.
So, what you're saying to me is they're taking the entire city budget and then they're dividing it by the entire assessed value of the city. I wonder what that is.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then they're getting the millage rate, which is a weird word,
right.
but they're basically getting that multiplication rate that everybody's going to get. So it's going to be the assessed value of your house, which as I know, it's not always really what your house is actually worth. It's just a value that they're placing on that house, right?
Yep.
And then multiplying it by that rate that they've basically applied to the entire city. So if it's one
That's
and a
exactly right.
half or whatever, you're right,
Yeah.
1% or 2%.
And that
Got it.
millage rate may change by school district, by township, by county, by whatever other taxing bodies are involved here to get your total millage rate. But in this case, the city is setting that rate. So what can happen when this happens, and we saw it in Delaware County too, everybody's rates are going up to hopefully match closer to real market value.
Gotcha.
And so, everyone gets scared because, oh no, my number went up by 30%. And that's true. But by contrast, the millage rate, if there's no increase in the city's budget, the millage rate should actually decrease by that same 30%. Now, the city increases their budget every year, so it's probably going to go up some, but the actual millage rate should come down once those
Gotcha.
budgets are released.
So,
So
so basically the assessed value is going to go up 30% and the millage is going to kind of come down 30% to kind of even out to get about the same. Are there any people that are going to see big increases though?
yeah, so what we've been talking about so far is across the board. That's averages. Now,
Right.
your particular property, if your assessment went up by 50%, yeah, there's a good chance you're going to have a tax increase. If
Oh, yeah.
your assessment went up by 10%, then you may actually see a decrease. I haven't heard that story in many cases, but it's possible.
I know it actually happened to my mom in Delaware County. I think her taxes went from like 9,500 down to 8,000 in the Garnet Valley School District when they did the reassessment. But that's a topic for another video.
Yeah, right, right. So it is possible for your rates to come down.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing a lot of people get scared about is they're looking at their assessment versus their neighbor.
Yeah.
And theoretically, very similar properties, the assessments are completely off. One might be at 200,000, one might be at 400,000, and they're theoretically similar properties.
So, so if they want to fight that, can they fight that?
Yeah, so there isn't there's an appeal process. There has to be in every taxing body. So unfortunately, I don't know the specifics on that at this moment, but
Right.
there is a way to go and appeal your property taxes, which if you feel like this might be the case, you should go do that. There are attorneys out there that specialize in this, and often they charge a commission based on what they save you. So I know I did that with mine in Delaware County. And I'm sure that's going to be big business in the next couple of years here.
Amazing how the lawyers always seem to make out. They're even better than the realtors.
That's right. That's right. They always figure it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, man. Well, I thank you for clearing that up. So I guess people are going to have to look at, did their assessed value go up by more or less than 30% to see really if they're going to see a change in their overall tax bill. Obviously, there's going to be that yearly budget increase that they're going to see every year, but it may not be, jumping up 30%. So if we're getting freaked out about that, maybe not a reason to.
And it gets even deeper than that. You need to be looking at how much did you go up versus your neighborhood, versus your school, versus your block, all of these different things. And we won't really know the actual numbers until the millage rates come out.
Well, Rich, thanks so much for joining me to explain to me what's going on in Philadelphia. I was worried for some of my clients that might see a 30% increase. And, if you have a tax abatement, does that matter?
Great question. It won't affect you until your abatement expires.
Gotcha.
And depending on which kind of abatement you have. So if it's if it's the old style flat 10-year tax abatement, you don't have to worry about it until it expires.
No, that's good.
Wouldn't hurt towards the end of that abatement to start appealing the taxes if you think they're incorrect, just because it is going to hit in a couple of years. But if you've got 6, 7, 8 years left, probably nothing to worry about until the end of that.
Awesome. Rich, tell me a little bit about what your company does.
So we're a project management company. We work exclusively with real estate investors that are buying either flips or rental properties. And we basically do all of the things that owners probably should be doing that maybe they don't have time, expertise, whatever else they need on their projects in order to manage them effectively. So we manage their schedules, budgets, make sure deliveries show up, make sure contractors are getting things done quickly, efficiently with good quality work, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, I know you did a project for one of my flippers that I helped, and the work came out beautifully. So
thank you.
I know you guys do a good job, and I've known you for a long time, and you're not only that, you're an investor and a beast at that. I always tell the story of you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, man. All right, Rich, thanks so much for talking with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck out there.
All right, see ya.